I normally wouldn't ask a politician to speak, but Senator King's not running for re-election this year, so I think we're somewhat safe. This is a very important visit for a number of reasons. First of all, it's a great honor for us to have you come to visit us, which we really appreciate. Also, I think that at a time when there's so much dissension, both at the state and nationally, a failure of people to work together, it's refreshing to have an independent senator whose goal is to make things happen, who's outcome focused rather than ideology focused. We need more energy in this economy. And although it doesn't seem like it's directly related to us, the negative energy that's so prevalent in this country is a real drain. I mean, we see it when we go around. You know, we're looking for lift, and sometimes we don't get it where we think it should be. So hopefully the work that's being done will move that forward. And I'd like the senator to say some remarks, and then I've got another piece I'd like to do with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, first I want to give you a quick report of what's going on in Washington. Got it? And I apologize for that. I'm hoping next year will be a little bit better. There's a small group of us. I can tell you that there may be 15 or 20 in the Senate who are really sort of fed up with this nothing going on, both sides, both parties. And we're going to try to work on, in fact, I had a meeting day before yesterday, just before I left, to come back up here, talking about how we can fix the rules and just make it work better, because frankly you guys are working better than we are, and it's holding us back. You know, this, to an outsider, this is amazing that you can make something like this, that you can take a raw piece of steel and create something like this. And we sort of gave up on manufacturing in the US 15 or 20 years ago and said, well, it's going to go away, and you know, it can always be done cheaper in China or someplace. And it's turning out that's not true. Manufacturing is coming back in the US. And the idea that we can't do it, that it can only be done in cheap labor places, just isn't true. 12% of our economy is manufacturing. It used to be like 30. And we say, okay, well, maybe that's the best we can do. Here's a dirty secret. In Germany, it's 20%. And Germany's wages are the same as ours. Their environmental rules are the same as ours. They've just decided manufacturing is going to be part of what they're doing. And they export around the world, as you do. So the reason I'm here, other than being an old friend of Wick's, is just to learn what you guys are doing, and also to learn what if anything, we can do to help. Basically, my message is we can do anything as long as we don't get down on ourselves. If we're negative and down on ourselves, some of you guys know I ride motorcycles, and when I was doing a UBM refresher course down in Brunswick, this was 20 plus years ago, they taught us something interesting. I don't know, I'm sure some of you ride motorcycles, but one of the interesting things about riding a motorcycle is they teach you that you're going to go where you look. If you're riding and you look in the ditch, you go there. And if you want to make that corner up ahead, you look where you want to go, and that's where the motorcycle goes. I think that's a good story about life. If we're always looking in the ditch, man, that's where we're going to go. And I think you got to look and say, okay, where do we want to get? And that's what you all are doing, and you're constantly becoming more efficient, more productive, and turning out products that are important, and they're important in airplanes and missiles and all the other kinds of aerospace things that you do. That's the message. I'm going to get a hat out of this deal, it looks like.
More than a hat.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing is businesses like this don't ask much. You know, we don't ask big tax breaks or any of that kind of stuff. First of all, you can't leave without a hat. Hats are very important. I'm sure everybody would go, you get a hat.
Absolutely, that's great.
We were trying to think, what would make a difference in Washington? If we wanted to make a difference, how would we do it? But almost 20 years ago, we put together a set of core values. And they're pretty basic, pretty straightforward, but we try to live by them, and when we're making decisions, there's something we can go to say, is this the right decision? This is a copy of Kennebec Technologies' core values. It's signed by all our employees.
And I'll put it up in the office.
Well, we'd love that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get lots of gifts, but this
And I'll give you your part back.
Good, yeah, because you couldn't get out the door otherwise.
No.
Yeah. But there it is,
Well,
Senator.
I will put this up in the office, and here's another thing. Every Wednesday morning that we're in session at 9 o'clock, we have coffee and blueberry muffins for anybody from Maine that's in Washington that day. So if you're down with your kids, if you're touring, if you're at a meeting or whatever, and if you haven't been to Washington, you ought to come. It's a pretty cool, it's a wonderful place to visit.